Hi friends, welcome back. Today we're talking about something millions of people do almost automatically every morning, drinking coffee. For many people, that first cup of coffee is what makes the day feel like it has officially started. It helps them wake up, focus, get through work, and sometimes even get through the afternoon. But have you ever stopped to think about what is actually happening inside your body when you drink coffee every single day? Does coffee really give you energy? Can it improve your health? Can drinking it every day affect your heart or your sleep? And what happens when you drink too much? The answer is more interesting than you might expect. Coffee can have both positive and negative effects on your body, depending on how much you drink, when you drink it, and how your individual body responds to caffeine. So let's take a closer look at what happens when coffee becomes part of your everyday routine. Let's start with the most obvious effect. The first effect, your brain becomes more alert. The main reason people drink coffee is caffeine. Caffeine is a natural stimulant that affects your brain and nervous system. One of the things it does is block the effects of a chemical called adenosine, which gradually builds up in your brain while you're awake and contributes to feelings of tiredness. When caffeine interferes with that process, you may temporarily feel more awake and alert. This is why a cup of coffee in the morning can make you feel like your brain has suddenly switched back on. You may find it easier to concentrate, stay focused, or get through a task that requires mental effort. But there's an important detail here. Coffee doesn't actually remove your body's need for sleep. It mainly changes how tired you feel for a while. That means using coffee to constantly cover up a lack of sleep can eventually become a problem. And that brings us to the second effect. The second effect, you may become dependent on caffeine. If you drink coffee every day, your body gradually becomes accustomed to receiving caffeine. Over time, you may notice that your usual cup doesn't feel quite as powerful as it once did. You might start drinking another cup in the afternoon, then perhaps another one later. This happens partly because your body adapts to regular caffeine consumption. And if you've been drinking coffee every day for a long time and suddenly stop, you may experience caffeine withdrawal. You could develop headaches, tiredness, irritability, difficulty concentrating, or a strong desire for coffee. This doesn't necessarily mean coffee is dangerous. It simply means your body has adapted to regular caffeine exposure. That's why people who want to reduce their caffeine intake often find it easier to gradually cut back, rather than stopping suddenly. The third effect, your physical performance may improve. Coffee doesn't only affect your brain. Caffeine can also influence physical performance. It may increase alertness, reduce how hard exercise feels, and help some people perform better during physical activity. That's one reason caffeine is so common in pre-workout products and sports nutrition. Imagine going into a workout feeling tired and unmotivated. A moderate amount of caffeine may help you feel more awake and ready to exercise. However, more caffeine doesn't automatically mean better performance. Too much can leave you feeling shaky, anxious, or uncomfortable, which can actually make exercise harder. So, once again, moderation matters. The fourth effect, your heart may respond to coffee. This is one of the areas that often makes people nervous about drinking coffee. Caffeine can temporarily increase blood pressure and may cause a temporary increase in heart rate in some people. Some people may even notice their heart beating faster after drinking coffee. For most healthy adults, moderate coffee consumption can fit into a healthy lifestyle, but people respond differently. If you're particularly sensitive to caffeine, you may experience palpitations, nervousness, or a racing heartbeat even after a relatively small amount. And if coffee consistently causes these symptoms, that's something you shouldn't simply ignore. It may be worth reducing your caffeine intake and speaking with a healthcare professional, especially if the symptoms are severe or persistent. The fifth effect, your digestive system may react. Have you ever finished your morning coffee and suddenly felt like you needed to use the bathroom? You're not imagining it. Coffee can stimulate activity in the digestive system, and some people experience increased bowel movements after drinking it. Coffee may also increase stomach activity and can trigger symptoms in people who are sensitive to acid reflux or digestive irritation. This means that while coffee may be perfectly comfortable for one person, another person may experience heartburn, stomach discomfort, or diarrhea. Your body's response matters. If coffee consistently causes digestive problems, you don't necessarily have to force yourself to keep drinking it just because other people enjoy it. The sixth effect: your sleep can take a hit. This may be one of the biggest downsides of daily coffee consumption. Caffeine can remain in your system for several hours after you drink it. So even if you don't feel particularly stimulated at bedtime, caffeine consumed later in the day can interfere with your ability to fall asleep or affect your sleep quality, and this can create a cycle. You drink coffee because you're tired. The coffee helps you stay awake. But if you drink it too late, your sleep suffers. Then you wake up tired the next morning and need coffee again. Before long, coffee is helping you manage the tiredness that coffee itself may partly be contributing to. This doesn't mean you have to give up coffee. For many people, simply avoiding caffeine later in the day can make a big difference. The seventh effect: coffee contains more than just caffeine. Here's something many people forget. Coffee isn't simply a delivery system for caffeine. Coffee contains a variety of naturally occurring compounds, including antioxidants and other bioactive substances. Research has found associations between regular coffee consumption and lower risks of several chronic diseases. But we need to be careful with how we interpret this. Drinking coffee doesn't guarantee that you will avoid disease. People who drink coffee may also have other lifestyle habits that influence their health, and the way you drink your coffee matters too. A plain cup of coffee is very different from a large coffee drink loaded with sugar, syrups, whipped cream, and other high-calorie ingredients. The health effects of the coffee itself can be very different from the effects of everything added to it. The eighth effect: coffee may affect your appetite and weight. Caffeine can temporarily influence appetite and energy expenditure. This is one reason caffeine is commonly found in weight management products. But don't make the mistake of thinking that coffee is a weight loss solution. If you're drinking plain coffee instead of a sugary beverage, you may reduce your calorie intake. But if your coffee contains several spoonfuls of sugar, flavored syrups, cream, or whipped toppings, the calories can add up quickly. So if weight management is your goal, pay attention not only to how much coffee you're drinking, but also what you're putting in it. The ninth effect: you may feel more energized, but coffee isn't real rest. Here's an important distinction. Coffee can make you feel more awake, but it doesn't replace the biological benefits of sleep. Your body needs sleep for memory, immune function, tissue repair, hormone regulation, and countless other processes. No amount of coffee can completely replace those benefits. So if you're regularly sleeping 5 hours a night and drinking several cups of coffee just to function, the solution probably isn't another cup. The solution may be improving your sleep. Coffee should ideally support your routine, not become a substitute for rest. The 10th effect: too much coffee can cause problems. So far, we've talked about several potential benefits of coffee, but there is another side. Too much caffeine can cause anxiety, nervousness, restlessness, headaches, digestive problems, difficulty sleeping, and a racing heartbeat. And caffeine sensitivity varies significantly from one person to another. One person may drink several cups and feel perfectly fine. Another person may drink 1 cup and feel extremely anxious. That's why there's no reason to compete with someone else over how much coffee you can drink. Your body's response is more important than somebody else's coffee routine. So, how much coffee is too much? For many healthy adults, moderate caffeine consumption can be part of a healthy diet, but your ideal amount depends on your individual circumstances. Pregnant people, children and adolescents, people who are particularly sensitive to caffeine, and people with certain medical conditions may need different limits. And remember that caffeine isn't only found in coffee. It can also be present in tea, energy drinks, chocolate, pre-workout supplements, and some medications. So if you're consuming caffeine from several sources throughout the day, your total intake can become much higher than you realize. So, should you stop drinking coffee every day? Not necessarily. For many people, coffee can be enjoyed as part of a balanced lifestyle. The important thing is to pay attention to how your body responds. Does coffee help you feel alert without affecting your sleep? Does it cause anxiety or digestive problems? Are you relying on more and more coffee just to feel normal? And are you drinking mostly coffee, or are you consuming large amounts of sugar and calories along with it? These questions can tell you much more about whether your coffee habit is working for you. Let's review what we've learned. When you drink coffee every day, several things can happen. First, caffeine can make you feel more alert and focused. Second, your body can adapt to regular caffeine consumption, which may lead to dependence and withdrawal symptoms if you suddenly stop. Third, caffeine may support physical performance and make exercise feel easier for some people. Fourth, coffee can temporarily affect heart rate and blood pressure. Fifth, it can stimulate your digestive system and may cause discomfort in sensitive individuals. Sixth, drinking coffee too late can interfere with sleep. Seventh, coffee contains naturally occurring compounds that may offer health benefits. And finally, drinking too much caffeine can cause problems such as anxiety, restlessness, headaches, and sleep disruption. So the real question isn't simply, is coffee good or bad? The better question is, how does coffee affect my body? And am I drinking it in a way that supports my health? For some people, a daily cup of coffee can be an enjoyable part of a healthy lifestyle. For others, reducing caffeine may improve their sleep, digestion, or anxiety. The key is paying attention to your body's signals and finding the amount that works for you. So the next time you pick up your morning cup of coffee, remember, you're not just drinking a beverage. You're giving your brain and body a dose of caffeine that can influence you for hours. Enjoy it, but enjoy it wisely. And if coffee is part of your everyday routine, take a moment to ask yourself, is my coffee helping me feel better? Or am I using coffee to compensate for something my body actually needs, like sleep and rest?